ride. This will be my very first snow ride on the Hudson Line. We had about 5 inches of snow down at this end, but up north around Poughkeepsie they had about 8 inches. And it's still cold out, so not much melting is going to happen, at least for now. But rain tomorrow. All right, 10:56. We're departing off of track 35 in Grand Central Terminal. Our lead engine is the Penn Central engine, number 217. We're in electric mode now, but before we come out of the tunnel, I believe he'll switch to the diesel engine. This train makes Harlem, Croton-Harmon, and all stops to Poughkeepsie. Kind of cold to be trackside today, so the best thing to do is ride on the railroad in the comfort of a warm coach. Yeah, we're gapping out here. You can hear the HEP going off. Back on the third rail. Oop, off the third rail. Thankfully, these things can coast through the gaps. I believe that's where Tower U used to be. Looks like we're going up track 2. No, I'm sorry, track 1. Right here is CP1. running his diesel engine. Coming back on, this is the Ghost engineers running this train, but I won't be coming back on its return trip. I'll be hanging out in Poughkeepsie for a bit, and I'll come back on the Express 8846. From Poughkeepsie makes all stops to Peekskill, then Harlem and Grand Central. Lately, I love going to Poughkeepsie. Went up there last Sunday, but been there in all different times of the year. But today, the snow, this will be a first. A sleigh ride to Poughkeepsie. Like this time they got tracks 4 and 2 open. Last Sunday they did not. They were doing bridge work. Horn sounds better than last week's horn, the 205. Harlem 125.
1107 Hudson Line train to Poughkeepsie, stopping at Croton-Harmon, Cortland, Keystone, Manitou, Garrison, Cold Spring, Beacon, New Hamburg, and Poughkeepsie. This is your 1107 Hudson Line train to Poughkeepsie. Croton-Harmon station will be next.
Next stop, Croton-Harmon. Fencing. This is where they're doing viaduct work on this Park Avenue trestle.
Croton-Harmon station will be next. Please have all tickets ready for collection. If you're using a mobile ticket, please have it purchased and activated now. Expressway down there. Right here's where the old 138th Street station used to be. CP5. Here we leave the New Haven and Harlem lines. Yeah, nice coating of snow. It's going to be raining and about 50, so this will disappear, so I had to go out and get it today. This is CP6. East 153rd Street. I was thinking of maybe riding up to Wasaic today. I'm sure they got a lot of snow up there, but there's nothing up there. Once you get there, there's no stores, no restaurants nearby. You gotta walk a ways for that. At least Poughkeepsie has a restaurant right next door in the shopping plaza. Mahoney's. Well, here's Highbridge Yard. Harlem River. There's the Harlem River Drive. See a lot of traffic heading for the George Washington Bridge. There's High Bridge. It's a pedestrian walkway. Probably get some great views from up there. Approaching CP8. Forward to get into the Hudson Highlands north of Peekskill. They should really look pretty today with the snow on them. Station is Morris Heights. A week from today, brand new fares are going to take effect. New ticketing options. They're installing new ticket machines at stations on Metro North and the LIRR. I saw one at Lindenhurst today. You can actually buy a ticket to a specific Metro North destination on those machines from the Long Island Railroad. That's good. University Heights. Yeah, you can buy a ticket, say Babylon. If you want to go to Poughkeepsie, you can actually punch that in and it'll print a ticket, Babylon to Poughkeepsie. I wonder if they have day pass combo tickets. Well, when it becomes into effect, I'll look for that option on the machine. There's some good things about these new fares, some bad things. Fares will increase. They're doing away with the 10-trip ticket, but if you take 10 trips within a certain period of time using the app, you get a free trip. And winding along the Harlem River, following the river, got an inbound M7 train stopped at Marble Hill up ahead. It's a lift bridge. The #1 subway runs across that up top. Sidewalk up there looks like a great vantage point to watch the action on Metro North. Marble Hill. Just a short walk from the subway. So far we've been following the Harlem River most of the way, but no, they don't call this the Harlem Line, they call this the Hudson Line for a damn good reason. You'll see that very shortly. Metro North's best line by far. It's a cut down the 2 tracks here. Well, we went down the 2 tracks was CP10. There's the Henry Hudson Bridge up ahead, up on top actually. And the Harlem River empties into the Hudson here, past that Amtrak bridge for the West Side Line, West Side connection to Penn Station. Well, this is CP11 here. This is Spuyten Duyvil Station. And after here, we curve around and start to follow the mighty Hudson River all the way to Poughkeepsie. Here's the Amtrak line joining us at CP12 up ahead. Palisades look nice and glossy. Here's CP12 right here. Switching over to track 3. Trips on the Hudson Line, but this is the first time I've done it in the snow. Alright, he should be cranking it up here. Make his dash to Croton-Harmon. That's the end of CP12. Yesterday would have been a good day to do this, but I was busy shoveling. Had a couple of snowstorms, not gigantic storms, but they're a nuisance. Had 2 already, and it's still December. I hope we don't have any more. Big train show. This is Riverdale. We're in the Bronx. This is the last station in the Bronx. And the river looks calm. Last Sunday there was whitecaps everywhere. Today it looks flat as velvet. Smooth. Station is Ludlow, Westchester County. Domino Sugar, Yonkers. Maybe you have a cup of coffee, you put a little sugar in it, chances are it came out of this place. Those sugar bags at the restaurants. Milepost 15 from Grand Central Terminal. Station is Yonkers. Ah, there's the 211, the New York Central. As I know, the 211 and the 217 are the only heritage units running so far on the railroad. Glenwood is an old power plant. What are they going to do with this thing? Supposedly they wanted to turn it into some kind of an establishment, but don't see any effort made so far. Anyone who doesn't like riding on the Hudson Line or rail fanning the Hudson Line is brain dead. This is just a spectacular ride. People who commute into the city every day are really blessed to be able to commute along this railroad. There's the end of the Palisades over there. At the end of the Palisades is the end of New Jersey across the river. It's a long way down from up there. Watch that first step, it's a Lulu. Few months you'll be able to ride to Albany, Rensselaer on these Metro North trains. I would love to do a snow ride all the way to Albany. They have a lot more than what Poughkeepsie has. I think they had about 10 or 11 inches from this storm. That was Greystone we passed. This is CP 19. probably be my last YouTube video that I make in 2025. I hope you enjoyed what I presented in 2025. Hope to do some neat stuff in 2026. Things on Hudson. There's the Harvest on Hudson restaurant. There's a lot of time built into the schedule, so he's not really going top speed here as we just passed milepost 20. The Half Moon Restaurant, Dobbs Ferry Station. Local at the station. There's a restaurant in the station too. Saw a train of M7As. A certain conductor worships the ground those things roll on. Ha ha ha. On Hudson. Saw a rail fan out there. Gotta be kind of gritty to rail fan in the cold. Although it's not windy, that helps. Usually when I go out rail fanning in the cold, I try to do it on days where the wind chill factor is at a reasonable level. And I make sure I wear my thermals. Looks nice. Very Christmassy out. What's better than doing a Christmas season ride on the Hudson Line in the snow? Station is Irvington. There's the new Tappan Zee Bridge. Another name is the Mario Cuomo Bridge, but most people like to refer to it by its old name, Tappan Zee. This bridge is beautiful. It completely replaced the old Tappan Zee Bridge. I hate shoveling snow, but I love doing these snow rides. Beautiful bridge. Is CP25. Station Tarrytown. Beautiful seeing the snow cover. And we haven't even gotten to the best part yet. P32, 225 on the rear. Okay, this is CP26. Approaching Phillips Manor Station. Look out for the Eagle. Here we enter one of the more scenic parts of the Hudson Line in the electrified zone. We're literally hugging the river to Scarborough. Certain rail fans better behave themselves, otherwise they're liable to get thrown on the drink here. Much wind today. The smoke from that stack over there, it's pretty much going straight up, maybe a little breeze aloft. And last Sunday it was really blowing out here. Look at the river, it's flat as a pancake. unlike last Sunday. Anybody in the riverfront park here today? Yeah, there's somebody there. Probably just gazing. Good day to gaze. This is a great river to gaze on. This is Scarborough Station. One of my favorite places to visit on the Hudson Line. Approaching Sing Sing Prison in Scenic. Pretty soon we'll be slowing down for our first stop after Harlem, Croton-Harmon. A lot of interlockings around Croton-Harmon, one end to the other. 33, CP 33, 34, 35, and 36. Now here comes another set of M7s. Up the snow. Still kind of fluffy, but later they're expecting freezing rain to hit up this way. I mean, I'll be out of here before that happens, but I'm talking about rather hazardous conditions with that freezing rain. And then it's going to turn to all rain. By this time tomorrow, you might not see hardly any snow here at all. Okay, that piece of land out there is Croton Point. As we approach Croton-Harmon, big shop facility here. It's always been an important railroad facility for the New York Central, Penn Central, Conrail, Metro North. Still part of CP33.
Now arriving at Croton-Harmon Station, this is
A
Croton-Harmon.
lot of stuff in the yard here. Maxi set, a couple of G's, Paul's favorite MUs, M7As. Ah, there's an engine I like. I wish it was pulling this train, the 206. That's got the best horn of the P32s. There's the holiday train. See the lights over there? Arriving Croton-Harmon, track number 3. Ah, the Conrail engine is here. Looks like he's getting fueled. See GP35R106 behind him. All right. Get a good look at the Conrail P32-201. And GP35R106 coupled to the holiday set with the 203 behind them. Interesting stuff laying around. Oh, here come a couple of Chargers. 306
41 station will be there.
and the 305. Looks like they got the day off. Just out of the station, we passed CP34. Here's some M3s built by Bud. Last week there was a set of M3s here that were going to the scrapper. I think some of those might have gone to the Danbury Railroad Museum. A friend of mine hopes to be promoted to engineer, be fully independent engineer shortly. And next month he's going to be working the Danbury shuttle. And sometimes they run those CT rail painted GP40PH-3s with those K5AULS horns. And he said that if he has one of those, he'll put on a great horn show. CP35 here. There's an old New York Central relic, CD tower, not manned. We're approaching a station of Croton North. There used to be a station here on the right past this bridge. In fact, there used to be a railroad crossing where that bridge is. Croton North was the end of electrification. Some trains terminated there. Tracks over there is Croton Yard. CSX uses it. And now we're off the third rail, folks. Thinking earlier this week of going to Princeton Junction and rail fanning in the snow, but they didn't get nearly as much as there is here. They're getting a lot of ice, I know. Yeah, the smoke is going pretty much straight up. Not much wind at all. Traction motor whining on the 217. road yard ends here at CP 36. Used to be known as CP Oscar, named after Oscawana Tunnel, which we're about to go through. This was a great place to watch New York Central trains years ago. Ooh, the 222. Man, I'm really getting the Heritage Fest on this train. That was Oscawana Tunnel. So far I've seen the 203, the 201, 222, 211. Got 3 tracks here as far as CP 39. This location is where the old Kruger station used to be. That's been gone for decades. Kruger's and Montrose stations disappeared in favor of the new Cortlandt station, which we'll be stopping at very shortly. Portland.
Cortlandt Station, Cortlandt.
Cortlandt. C-O-R-T-L-A-N-D-T. Not to be confused with Cortland, New York, between Syracuse and Binghamton. That does not have the T.
Please go next.
Yeah, 217's making a lot of stack torque here. This area is where the old Montrose station used to be. Like Kruger's, that disappeared when they opened the Cortlandt station decades ago. There's a speed restriction here. Well, this is CP 39. used to be a record album. I think you can access it on Apple Music. It was a recording made by a fellow named Cook. New York Central steam engines in the Peekskill area. You hear a lot of whistling. You can hear them flipping the seats back in the station. On a stored commuter train, you can hear the one guy say on the recording, "Let's go home and go to bed." You hear a lot of steam with those beautiful New York Central steam whistles. A couple of diesels. Look for it. It's on Apple Music. I don't know what it's headed under, but there's a picture of a steam engine. It's a drawing at night and a thunderstorm on the cover with lightning. This is where the scenery starts to get really interesting from here on up. Boats are resting for the winter. Looks very frosty here in Peekskill. Unlike the summer day I spent here, getting heritage units like crazy. Both Amtrak and Metro North. Peekskill.
Peekskill.
Flag is limp, no wind. Okay, departing Peekskill, we approach our first railroad crossing. There's only 4 of them on this line.
Manitow station will be next. Manitow, one door will open in between the rear 2 cars. Manitow next, please see the conductor located in between the rear 2 cars and exit Manitow.
Manitou, station for hikers. Well, if you like snowshoeing, it might be a good place to get off today. This is where the scenery really gets spectacular. Pretty much all the way to towards Beacon. CSX River Line on the other side looks quiet. There's Bear Mountain over there. You can drive right to the top of it. over there across the river is the Iona Island Bird Sanctuary. That's a good rail fanning spot. We often meet there for our biannual rail fan gatherings. Up to the Bear Mountain Bridge, crossed by US Highway 6 and the Appalachian Trail. That low bridge you see on the opposite side, that's crossed by the CSX River Line. Noticeably deeper up here. CP46. I'm sure this will be a very brief
Okay, now
stop.
Association, only one door will open in between the rear two cars. Then so.
Garrison next. a couple of wild turkeys there. This time of year you can see bald eagles, but I haven't seen any yet. The river line is that close on the opposite side. The little truss bridge on the river line there, right alongside a chasm. There's West Point Military Academy. Shortly after leaving Garrison, we'll enter the Hudson Highlands, where the highest ridges on both sides of the tracks are located. Garrison.
Garrison Station, Garrison.
I don't think you're going to see the sun anymore today. Coming up is the Garrison Station building, which was used in the movie Hello Dolly. It was mimicking Yonkers for that movie.
Cold Spring is next.
Oh, here comes Amtrak. Couldn't see it. It's going through Garrison Tunnel. But on track 1, it's just a cut. No tunnel. Prettiest station stop on the Hudson Line by far is Cold Spring. Get some beautiful river views here in the park just west of here. High ridges closing in. You can watch the river line on the other side. There's Breakneck Ridge over there, Breakneck Mountain. And over there is Storm King Mountain. At least the far one is. This is where you really get the most impressive views of the high ridges. think you get this kind of scenery on a New York City commuter line.
Cold Spring Station, this is Cold Spring.
Cold Spring is a beautiful town. Nice shops, some restaurants, great river vistas here. Don't think I'd want to eat outside at the Cold Spring Depot restaurant. I definitely recommend eating there in the warmer weather. Trackside dining, great burgers. Next stop is Beacon. Enjoy the scenery here, folks. The highest ridges on the Hudson Line are right here.
Beacon will be next.
CP 53. Right behind us is Amtrak 233 from Penn Station to Albany Rensselaer. It's running about 18 minutes late today. We should pass 280 en route to Poughkeepsie from Niagara Falls, New York to Penn Station. Approaching Breakneck Tunnel. Shortly we'll be passing the Breakneck Ridge Metro North Station, which is open a seasonal stop. Breakneck Ridge. Apparently going north or westbound they don't have to blow that long blast here, but coming south towards New York they do. Over there is Bannerman's Castle. Wreck. I usually see at least one train on the river line going up to Poughkeepsie, but haven't seen any yet. 57. Shortly we'll be passing under the abandoned Beacon Line. Metro North used it to connect from the Hudson Line to the Harlem Line and the New Haven Line at Brewster and Danbury respectively. What's left of the Beacon Line right there. This is CP58. Coming into a very important stop on this line, Beacon. Everything stops here on Metro North. There are rush hour expresses that
Now arriving at Beacon Station, this is Beacon.
rush hour expresses out of New York, several of them make Beacon the first stop after leaving Grand Central or Harlem 125. And again, they're going to be building a big housing complex here, so that should generate more business. Beacon. From here northward to Poughkeepsie, we should be moving pretty fast. From here the rest of the way to Poughkeepsie, we should be moving at track speed. Schedule is tighter. We're about 14 miles from Poughkeepsie roughly. Should be arriving ahead of time. The Interstate 84 bridge connecting Beacon with Newburgh. Interstate 84 is a great route to take if you want to go from a lot of places in Pennsylvania to New England and bypassing New York City. 61. Bank Street, Chelsea, side of the old Chelsea station. It is here in the bend in the river that you can just make out the Mid-Hudson Bridge in Poughkeepsie. New Hamburg. Yeah, it's a winter wonderland up here. Wow.
New Hamburg Station, this is New Hamburg.
Amtrak 280 should be passing by here pretty soon. All right, next stop, Poughkeepsie. For Amtrak 280.
Poughkeepsie next.
There's the famous high bridge here in New Hamburg. like 280. He sees a lot of New York State coming from Niagara Falls. Cement Works. Warm here today. It's still below freezing, so the snow is pretty fluffy. Not like Long Island where it was mixed in with a little moisture. We had a little more ice and mixed precipitation down there, but not here. But that's going to change. Later today they're going to get freezing rain. Crest Road. Train on the river line. Milepost 72. We're coming up to CP 72. CP 72. Here's the Mid-Hudson Bridge. We're due here at 12:58, but there's a lot of extra time. hours. Looks like they're doing a brisk business today.
You gotta walk back to get off, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks for the nice ride.
Now arriving at Poughkeepsie Station, please make sure you have all your personal belongings. Don't forget to check the overhead racks. Poughkeepsie, last stop. Thank you for riding Metro North. Have a good day.
Arriving Poughkeepsie at 12:43. There's Mahoney's. I'll be paying them a visit later. All right, I hope you enjoyed this sleigh ride on the Hudson Line to Poughkeepsie. There's our engine. Did a great job. Penn Central Heritage 217. Well, there's a guy who earned his money today. Back there is the 214, the Employee Heritage Unit, the Employee Tribute Unit. All right. Ghost Engineers ready to take 8840 back to Grand Central. I'm going to hang around here and take 8846, the Super Express, back to Grand Central. But not before I go over to Mahoney's and have a nice scrumptious lunch and a glass of wine.